Oh, hey. How you doing today? Oh, you know what I was just thinking? Lately I've noticed that some of the major US beer brewers have decided to remaster their recipes. Well, that might be an over-exaggeration because I only know of two so far, but it just seemed like a little trend in my mind. Obviously, if you watched my channel before, about a couple weeks ago, I did a in-depth review from the new Belgium Fat Tire recipe. They remastered it over so many years of having it being their way and then changing it to be more energy and efficient, sustainable. And you can watch the whole video if you haven't. I'll link it up somewhere up here. But either way, I'm here today because we're going to talk about another beer brewer that decided to remaster one of their recipes on their flagship beer. And again, according to the research that I've done so far, and we'll get into it as we go along on this episode, they modified one of their brewing processes, and they think it's made a cleaner, crisper beer, and it's made it a more perfect lager, as they put it in their own words. Well, we're going to find out today. We're going to see if it's any better, any worse, or no difference at all. I have some of the old version. I have some of the new version. Either way, we're going to find out if this is a beer that is still worth drinking. They've been around for a while. But either way, we're going to see if this remaster is better than their old version. So if you don't have a beer in your hand right now, sit back, relax, and let's get into it with Beer with Billy. Right, so seriously, these remasters that American craft beer brewers are doing, well, like I said, I'm making it sound bigger than it is. A couple weeks ago, I did the new Belgium Fat Tire remaster with the recipe. Again, in the intro, you can go check out that video if you desire. I think it's interesting, and you'll hear my takes. But I already know myself today. I already know as I film this, and the ideas are in my head, I already sprinkled B-roll of the beer that I'm going to do today. And it's no secret, it's the Sam Adams Boston Lager. It's been a beer that's been around in the country since the mid-1990s. They got their start in like the early 1980s when they started, Mr. Koch, if I pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry. But, he got the original lager, Boston Lager recipe, but it's a lager, from his great-great-grandfather in like the 1980s, made the beer, got popular, so much so like even in like 1985 they won Great Americans Beer Festival, an award for one of the best lagers in the country, and they even got their beer sold in Germany because it followed the 4 principles of their purity law. They have a German word. When I do the edit, I'll probably link it because I can't say it, but basically the purity law says it has 4 ingredients: water, malt, barley, hops, yeast. So if you follow that, that's a German purity law. They followed that with the lager, so much so that they were the first American lagers sold in Germany. That's quite an accomplished feat. So for them to remaster their beer according to themselves in 2023, and as I'm reading, it's just they didn't change their recipe drastically. They just refined something in the brewing process to make it a little bit better, a little bit crisper, enough so much that they decided to call it a remaster. Is it going to be any better, any worse, or more of the same? That's what we're going to find out today on this channel. I have one more bottle of the old stuff and a few of the new stuff because I didn't realize they did this in January of this year, 2023. It's April, so we're gonna see if it's any different. I have no idea. Of course, fair disclosure, I've had Boston Lager, the original or pre-2023 version, many times, so that's not different. But the new remastered version, as they call it, I've never had. This is my first time. We're gonna do it today on the channel. I don't know what to expect. I have no idea. But I'm tired of holding this camera in my hand and letting it almost fall. So let's go to the studio and let's see what we got. So okay, we're finally back in the studio, guys. So, as I was saying, we are reviewing the Boston Lager Remastered version of Sam Adams Boston Lager. So, looking at it, I got my phone up here, so let me get into this thing. Good Lord. Okay, so according to them, how did they put this? They added a process to reduce filtration using a traditional German practice of biological acidification, resulting in a brighter, easy drinking beer. So this is what the remaster is about. So they basically did something to their filtration process, making their Boston Lager. Does that make it any better? According to them, it's a brighter, easy drinking beer. And a quote, "We'd like to say we know there's a perfect Boston Lager out there. We just haven't made it yet," said Koch. To this day, he still tastes each batch of Boston Lager to ensure it reaches the brand's high quality standards. So either way, he feels like it's not enough. But we'll find out. What about the consumers? I know he might have a high standard. And again, I'm going to link that article in the description by the time you're watching this. Either way, I've got the old version. I got one more bottle of the old version right here, by the way. So this is it. After I drink this is done. So we got to do this right, guys. And so with that, we're going to further my Bend organ cup. Hopefully you can see it here. I've used this in the videos before in the past, but we're gonna do the original in this bad boy, and the remaster is gonna be in our Stumbling Steer cup. They were a brewery in my hometown back in the day, but they're out of business by now. So remaster in this, so that's how we can mark it. I'm gonna take some photos just so for color, because with the ambience, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. But either way, that's what we're gonna roll with today. So let me find my bottle opener. We're gonna open these up, and let's do this finally. We got to get to this review. So, original version. And by the way, if you don't know, Boston Lager is 5% alcohol by volume, 30 IBUs. Let me look on the new one if anything is different. 5%, 30 IBUs. So nothing changed in the process of more alcohol, more hops added to this. Just refining that German acidification biology stuff. Yeah, that's kind of a trip. I don't know. So, original version in the Bend organ cup. My friend gifted this, by the way, if I haven't said it enough. I'm really excited. I was really happy when I got this glass. I was so happy that they went to Bend, Oregon, tried out some beers, and they even thought of me and gave me this Bend, Oregon glass. So, poured the original again. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So as I was pouring the original Boston Lager, my camera went out. So yes, rather than trying to be sly, we poured it into this bad boy, by the way. That's the Bend, Oregon cup that I was ranting about before the camera cut off. So either way, we're just going to continue on. So sorry about that. Again though, Stumbling Steer Remaster is going to go into that. By the way, I'm looking at the original. The straw color is pretty much prevalent there. We're going to see what the remaster has to offer. I'm opening this bad boy here. Oh, oopsie doodle. Stumbling Steer. This bad boy is going into there. So the company Stumbling Steer originally got their idea. They were making beer and then they were feeding the spent grains to the livestock in the community. I think they had some issues with the brewmaster chef. They had this restaurant idea in mind, but it went out of business, bottom line. So in memory of them, I guess. But either way, doesn't matter. But the remaster is in the Stumbling Steer. Let me grab the bottle. So if you guys know me with Beer with Billy, on most of my shorts I usually throw the bottle or throw the cans, but since we have a glass here, I really don't want to clean this up in carpet, so I really don't know what to do with these by now. But either way, we have a versus battle here. Remaster versus old school version. Badoom. Let's just pretend I throw them. Yeah. Doo-doo-doo. You didn't see me do that. Okay. So, Bend, Oregon is the original version. Nice straw color. Looking at them, honestly, in this light may be hard to see. Again, I'm going to put a photo. Pretty much the same. There is no difference between the color to start off with. So, in the remaster version, nothing different in that regard. Smell, pretty malty, which you expect from a lager. Not too hoppy. Not a big smell. Lagers tend to be very light on the nose. Yeah, so far feels the same. Like no difference. So, old version. Just like I remember, nice, clear, crisp lager. Nothing crazy, not too hoppy, which you want from a lager. A nice malty mouthfeel on it, nice and smooth. This is exactly what you want from any kind of lager. They call it a Boston lager, but it's a lager. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, again, nice malty mouthfeel when you get it, pretty smooth. So nothing out of hand. Great lager, great lager. So, Stumbling Steer glass. This is the remastered. So they did something with the brewing process, with the acidification, the German practice. Is it any different? Smell, color-wise, not so much so far. Yeah, see? Not a big difference so far. Let's try that again. Okay, maybe, and I don't know, because you read it, it gets in the mind, but it is a little bit crisper. The old version feels a little bit more malt forward, like it has a little bit of the more maltiness flavor compared up to the new version. But when I'm talking that, it's like not so much. And the thing is, I feel like just reading about it, hearing about it, it gets in the head, so you kind of think, okay, the remaster is going to be different. But to me, there is not a big difference. Yeah, maybe a little bit crispier, a little bit lighter, but not by much. The old version, is pretty malty compared up to the new version. So honestly, if we're talking in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big difference. You know, it's like a couple, if this was a game of football, it's a couple yards, like a yard or so. Like when the ref does the chains, it's like that much of a difference. There is not a big difference. So refining the process, that's great that they did that, but what it translates to your beer, it's not a big difference. So even if you see a remaster or an old version, you're still getting the same Sam Adams Boston Lager that you've known and loved since the 1980s. So looking at it, I'm okay with their remaster, refining the process a little bit, because it's not a big change from something that they've done for a long time. There is not a big difference. If it was to change a rating from like 1 to 5 stars, yeah, it's still gonna stay the same rating. I don't know. I would rate a Boston Lager like a 4 out of 5. 4 bottle caps out of 5, or 4 stars out of 5, whatever you want to call it. It's a 4 out of 5. 5 being the best, 1 being sucky. This has not changed compared up to some beers that I've tried before. So if you're a fan of Sam Adams Boston Lager, this remaster, you won't notice a big difference. So if you enjoyed what I've presented today on the channel, I would like for you to subscribe and of course comment. Let me know what you think. If you tried the new remastered version, do you have an opinion? Do you think it's different from the old one? Let me know down below. And if you want me to try to review a beer or review different beers, let me down below. Comments, questions, concerns, anything, let me down below. Of course, I want you to like this video, and if you're not on TikTok or Instagram, or if you are, just follow me on there. Beer with Billy on both of these channels, and of course on YouTube. If you're watching this, it's Beer with Billy. So if you want to follow me, please, I would appreciate it. I'm just gonna keep doing these beer reviews and anything you like. So let me know down below what you think about anything, as I've said. But for right now, I've got some 2 Boston Lagers. And, oh, by the way, this is my last old version of the Boston Lager, so I'm going to enjoy it. And then, of course, I got to enjoy the new version. So, for all my beer family out there, for right now, cheers.